What's up guys, back on the budget turbo car build, and today we're going to be knocking off a lot of the remaining things on the list. So we need to wrap up the downpipe. I need to do another O2 bung in that for the primary O2 sensor. We need to finish welding up the intercooler piping. So in the last episode I kind of just tack welded it together, and now we're going to finalize all that piping. We'll do a boost leak test, make sure it's holding some sort of boost and not completely leaking. And we're going to finish the remainder of the exhaust. I do have a muffler here, I'll show you in a second. It's some sort of flow master, so I don't know, whatever. I just need to put a muffler somewhere down here in the center or out the back. Not sure how I want to do it yet. I don't have a lot of piping, so I might just do like an axle dump, not do it all the way back, but definitely going to throw that muffler in the middle somewhere, because these things, even turbocharged, sound pretty disgusting. Especially on low boost with a straight pipe, because it sounds pretty much NA. So yeah, let's get started and start checking off a bunch of things on the list. Hopefully the car will be on the ground by the end of this episode, and we can at least move it around and get it off this hoist. Got the piping off. Actually got a 90 for this side to make things a lot easier. So I'm gonna make a couple cuts on that pipe, but I do have this pipe cleaned up for the most part, and I'm just gonna weld this one up, slap it back in, make a couple cuts on the other side, throw that back in, and then once these pipes are done, do a quick boost leak test to make sure that's all good. Okay, making some progress on these pipes. Got the hot side here all welded up. Looks pretty good. So that's ready to go back in. I'm actually redoing this side because, as I mentioned, I have this 90 now. So I can do a straight shot to here instead of having that weird bend. At least this side is done. Getting pretty annoyed with all these pie cuts. It's a lot of work to weld, but cheaper than buying 90s or whatever. So gonna keep welding these pipes. Again, I'm not really recording the welding and stuff because it's pretty boring. But yeah, finish this side, and then we kind of start buttoning up the front end and get everything where it needs to be. Bleed the coolant, get the rat hoses in, all that stuff. Just gonna keep working on the pipes over there, and we'll continue recording once we have everything all back in the car. Okay, now we got all the piping in the car. Everything's welded up and tightened. We got this pipe here, which is modified for the 90. So what we're going to do now is, with everything all tightened up here in the vacuum system, we're gonna boost leak test using this boost leak tester here. So this kit comes with a bunch of different sizes, and then this valve here. So what you do is hook up this to the boost plug, whatever you want to call this, which is on the turbo intake, and then we're going to hook up the compressor line to this end, and we're going to feed it up to 10 pounds of pressure, because if it's good for 10 or 15 pounds, it should be fine running 7 to 8. So probably run a little over 10 and make sure nothing leaks. It is still the stock IAC and PCV system, so I'm expecting that to kind of be the first failure point, but without modifying anything, I'm just gonna hook it up and see what happens. Oh, guess I need to tighten this more. Okay, everything's sprayed down. We're sitting at 8 pounds here. I'm just gonna take a look around. Oh, so we got bubbles here. Okay, there's culprit number 1. That looks like it's gonna pop off. So, tried tightening the clamp extra hard, and you can see here, come on, focus. Oh, well, if you can see on the end there, it snapped, so this clamp is no good. gonna try to hunt for a 3-inch hose clamp around here. Hopefully I have one somewhere, and then we can test this again. Put it back at 10 pounds. It's good enough for now. We'll address the intake coupler situation, which should take care of the remainder of the leak. Pop this downpipe off yet again, weld some bungs, get that primary O2 in there, and of course wrap it in some fiberglass heat wrap stuff, whatever it's called. Here is the new O2 bung. Like I said, I'm not the greatest at welding O2 bungs or things in a circle, so they don't look the greatest, but it'll hold and it's not gonna fall off or leak or anything. So yeah, now these two are out of the way, or this one at least, we need to get that V-band flange on here, and then once this flange is on here, quickly just wrap the downpipe with that fiberglass heat wrap stuff, and then throw back in the car, and it should be all set. Okay, just finished the V-band flange all the way around. This should be good to go. I'm just gonna wait for it to cool down a little more, and then I can go ahead and try wrapping this whole thing in one piece. Okay, so downpipe is all in, tightened up. We got the heat wrap here, the factory primary O2 and the wideband sensor are all in there as well and tightened up. Just got to connect the loom for the factory sensor and then the wideband sensor to go in the car. So now that the downpipe is done, we can start working on the rest of the exhaust. So like I mentioned at the start of the video, I picked up just this generic random flow master. It should be good enough. It's 3-inch in and out. Gonna pop this out of the box and take a quick look. Here it is, Flow FX by Flowmaster, whatever that is. 3-inch in, 3-inch out. Probably mount this somewhere in the middle, so probably where the factory, if you know E36 exhausts, where the factory center section hanger is, those 2 points, we're gonna make something that'll hold this up, and then we'll just go straight to the back from there. So I'm gonna quickly mock up a few pipes just to get it back from the downpipe here down towards that center section, just a straight shot most likely, and then we'll start welding those up and we'll get this in the best position, I guess. Okay, here's the current situation. Have the muffler super tucked up here between the factory hangers. So what I'm gonna do is bend this hanger and kind of have it like that. And then we can start the rear section out to here, to the side. Well, if you saw that last clip of the exhaust, you might have noticed something. That's that I forgot to put this flex pipe in there. All right, here's the, I guess, mid-pipe section of the exhaust. So that comes off the downpipe through that flex pipe in, obviously, and the muffler here at the back. But I don't have any piping left, and I don't want to just dump it at the gas tanks because they're plastic. So I'm gonna leave this like that as is. Just throw it in the car so I can, you know, turn it on and try to get it off the lift. But yeah, we're just gonna leave it like that for now, and then when I get more piping, I will extend that rear section and finish the rest of the exhaust behind that. Okay, one thing I almost forgot to record and I forgot to mention, but this turbo has no like boost reference fitting. So what I've done is I've drilled out the template hole here as like a blank hole plate. So this is an 1/8 MPT 90-degree barb. So I just used an R size drill bit and then a 1/8 tap. Now I'm just gonna thread this in with some sealant, and then we should be good to go down to our wastegate there for our nice and easy boost reference. Okay, so right now I'm just grabbing the base map from the ECU. So it's just the OBD2 to 20 pin connector right there. And then I'm gonna download the whatever the base map is with all the codes and whatnot. Send this over to the tuner, and then he's gonna make some adjustments for me. So I have a base map for the new MAF that's going on, and then the bigger injectors. Okay, we got the car on the ground. So yeah, I guess I kind of want to hear what the exhaust sounds like, even though it's not finished all the way back. The muffler is on in there, so should give a good representation of what it's going to sound like with the rear section completed. So I'm actually gonna just do a small startup and just kind of give it a couple small revs too, and just get an idea of what it sounds like, I guess. I don't have the rad in or anything yet because I'm waiting for the fan setup, but I'm just gonna let it run for maybe 10 seconds, 15 seconds, and get an idea of what that exhaust note is going to be like. So I'll set up the tripod kind of behind the car where it would exit, but yeah, you should get a good idea even on video. All right, that was not too bad. Actually didn't really have any rasp at all, which is pretty surprising. Front here, again, there's no rad, so don't want to let it run for too much, but seems to be running smooth. No real issues, no noises to be concerned about. So I guess off camera, I will be buttoning all this messy wiring up, and the engine cover and the heat shield I'll make. And the only reason the rad is missing is because I'm not sure whether to go with an electric fan or a clutch fan setup. I know a lot of people do the like Euro clutch fans, the diesel ones with the ring around it. I do have a spare clutch fan, just a factory 328 one, but honestly I really don't like them because I've blown up like 10 of them. Even with new mounts, this car has pretty solid poly mounts, and still they just blow up. The reason the sound deadening stuff insulation is in here is because if you watch one of my previous videos, the clutch fan actually blew up and sliced it wide open. So yeah, let me know if you have any experience with like the Euro clutch fans, with the diesel ones, with the I think it's like maybe E34 clutch with a TDS fan, backspaces it a bit and has that ring around it so it won't blow up. I think that's the setup. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Should I just put in an electric fan? I do have one from the previous setup, and that worked pretty good, but obviously this is a turbo motor, so it's gonna have a lot more heat. I'm also wondering if I should do a oil cooler, just like a cap, and then run 2 lines to a cooler. So yeah, let me know what you think. I'm not opposed to just strapping an electric fan on there and seeing if it works or not, go from there, but it doesn't hurt to have a solid setup from the get-go. So yeah, it's interesting to see which of the two would be better. Also, I have 2 bumper choices now that I'm looking at it here. I have an M3 bumper with like an LTW style splitter, or this factory bumper with this custom lip, which is like a cut up, which is pretty much a cut up front bumper section. So if you look here and here, I just took a different bumper, cut out this middle section here, flipped it, and then threw a couple of rivets. So yeah, let me know. Clutch fan, electric fan, M3 bumper, stock bumper. Comment down below what you think, and I'll take into consideration what the popular opinion is and choose that one. So yeah, let me know. All right guys, so that's it for this one. Car is on the ground and ready to drive, I guess. Gonna finish the exhaust and other minor things off camera. I'm gonna get some piping and just quickly do that. As for the car, I should be able to get the base map hopefully sometime this week, and then I can take it for a drive this weekend, get some logs for the tuner, and then we'll be ready to rip out on the track. All right, leave a comment down below if you want to see something specific. Any questions, tips, advice, leave it down below as well. If you can hit the like button, subscribe, I'd appreciate it. Just passed 1,000 subs, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, so stay tuned for the next one. And yeah, I guess that's it. See ya.